Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're going well. A few days since the last one. So yeah, if you watched the last video, we've finished up rice harvest, which is good. One thing that has happened since the last video, we've rolled over to 3,000 subscribers. So yeah, thank you all for joining up and following along. So yeah, it's a bit a bit of a warm and fuzzy feeling that we are sort of making a few inroads and getting the good word of agriculture through to you guys. But yeah, no, seriously, no, thank you for signing up, and those guys that are sort of regular commenters and that sort of stuff, asking questions. So yeah, it does. It wasn't sort of my intentions when we first got this thing going that we'd have a bazillion followers. I just thought if we could make a difference and show what goes on, well, that'd be it'd be a benefit to everybody. So but no, thank you again. So what are we up to? So we're main season canola sowing now. So we're here at home under the pivot where we pre-irrigated. So it's had a couple of tonne of lime with a hectare spread on it. Tony's on the seeder at the moment. I've just got it going. We had a couple of gremlins, which was not gremlins, it was just my fault. I calibrated the canola and then didn't actually enter the weight into the screen and then pressed enter, so it didn't actually have a calibration in it. So I've got down the paddock here and Tony was still still spraying, so I had to head home and actually had to walk home and come back with the scales and recalibrate it. But we're going again now. So we did a few jobs on the seeder this morning, replaced a few hoses. We've actually dropped this front sowing shank down about 20 mil just to give us a bit more digging depth, just with the tines probably wearing a little bit. I was just a bit worried we weren't sort of getting enough depth, so we've done that. Ernie's here now, so sowing GM canola, and I'm not too sure what the variety is. It's a Pioneer variety of 525, I think it is. So yeah, coming up a bit cloddy. Actually, this paddock actually needs to have some gypsum put on it. We're low in sulphur in this paddock just from the soil tests. So not going to happen now. We probably should have put lime out here rather than gyppo. So anyway, that's all right. So yeah, Brendan's down raking hay, contract raking hay. So he'll come back and hop on the seeder. And yeah, I'm gonna go and get the header going in a minute. I'm going to strip a sample of corn. Got a bit of shuffling around to do just with. I'm going to take that mother bin back to the neighbours that we got off. It needs a washout first. We didn't actually probably need it in the end, but anyway, it's all right. So I'll give it a washout. The little fence over at another farm, so it needs to come back. We burnt a few stubbles last night, so I've got all the stubbles burnt. And something else. What else were we doing? Oh, right. Yeah, that's it. So we're going to put the little fence on the boom spray. So I need to just set it up. So the magnum's on the chaser bin for corn, and then we've got contract corn harvesting to do. So, but I've just had one of the guys ring me this morning about it. So we're just trying to work out whether it'll be, because we've actually got to travel into Victoria about 35-40 k's away. So we're just trying to work out whether it's going to be ripe or not without having to actually take the header across there to strip a sample. So anyway. Weather report, overcast, 22 degrees on the ute, but doesn't sort of look like it's going to rain anytime soon. But once we get this in, we'll start the irrigator and give it a pre-irrigation. So we've had a bit of a hiccup here, but anyway, I think we've got it sorted. So the new isobus system, it works on the motors on the metering, if I can get it out. The metering on the aircart here is electric driven, so it works off pulses, how many pulses the electric motor's putting out. Now, what's happened is the rate, how we had it set up, the rate, we had it supposed to be going at 2.2, so it was actually going out at about 7.5 kilos. At $50 a kilo, it gets expensive very quickly and you run out of seed very quickly. So what we've had to do is we needed to get the pulses up, the amount of the amount of pulses per, I suppose, kilo it works out, I think. This probably isn't a really good explanation of how this works, but anyway, so we've shuffled around. What we were seeing, the little motor, if I had the other camera I could zoom, but the little motor was sort of stop starting as it was metering. So what we've done is we've changed the gear. I've managed to shuffle the gearing around, and we've got it from sort of 300 pulses a kilo to 900 pulses a kilo. So it just means the electric motor's constantly spinning, all but very slowly. But it just means it's leveled out. So the rate in the cab was chucking a wobbly before. It was sort of all over the joint, whereas now it's just holding constant. So yeah, but anyway, we only did 4 or 5 hectares, and he was about out of seed. So, but yeah, GM Canola's $1,000 for a 20 kilo bag. It's insane. Anyway, so instead of $350 a hectare for seed, we're back to 110 or 20. So anyway, it happens, unfortunately, but yeah, you need to get it pretty right when the seed's so expensive. So anyway, onwards and upwards, next job. But yeah, it's a good way to waste a couple of hours. It's now 3:15, so we'll be into the dark with this one to get this paddock finished. So anyway, that's all right. Oh no, we're rocking along pretty well here. It's about up our state. We seem to have got the issue with the seed rate sorted out. It seems to be pretty good now. We might be a fraction light, so that's all right though. And yeah, we've got about 3 or 4 hectares here and we're finished. So yeah, I've just got 2 more runs, I think, in the headlands, which is good. So actually just got the laptop here with me, just trying to catch up on a bit of editing. So dragging the chain a little bit on that one, but anyway, it's a busy time of year, so I thought I'll come down and I'll bring it with me and can sit here quietly and go through it. Only one thing I found with the laptop, it does burn the battery pretty quickly, that sort of stuff. So yeah, going forward, if we keep doing it, which yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to end at the moment, we might have to go to a desktop type thing for our editing. So anyway, that's all right. But yeah, so another probably hour and yeah, we'll knock off and we'll get up and move camp in the morning. Morning! Trucking this morning. Windscreen's not very clean. We've got shifted around to the other farm with the canola, changed varieties, so we're onto the 44Y94, which is a Clearfield variety. So I got, yeah, tractor fueled up and calibrated and all the rest of it. Tony's, we just had, not dramas, but it just putting I think I mentioned we're putting the boom spray on the little 516 vent, because we'll have them Magnum on the chaser bin, and we want to do a bit of grader boarding with it at some point in time. We had a bit of fern left in some bulker bags, so we put them in the seeder to get Brendan going. I've just put fern in the truck here, and we've got the seed barleys in the truck here, so we've been out and washed a silo out down the other farm this morning. I'm going to just run this barley into the silo now, just purely because we don't need to be carting it around everywhere. It's going to be 10 days or more before we sow barley, and we're looking at, we've got 75 hectares of our own to do, and then we'll move on the contracting job. So I think we've got about 450 hectares of canola in front of us on the contracting side of things. So yeah, well, we just don't need to be carting around, we're just carting around weight. So, and when you got the truck tipped up, it's just another thing. So no, everything seems to be going pretty well. Started the irrigator this morning, did have a few issues with it. I sort of went, my ute was up the paddock, so I thought I'll go for a walk and pick it up, and then I had to get the fire unit to prime the bloody pump. So anyway, what I thought was going to be a 45-minute job took an hour and a half. So anyway, that's all right. So it's going, just putting 13 mil on that paddock that we finished spraying last night. So sorry, I'm just trying to drive and hold the camera. So yeah, so just 13 mil. There should be enough water in the dam for that. There is a little bit of water left in the dam below the corn, so I might even start it shortly, start that pump and get it going just to pump the rest of that water around. Plan is, once Tony's finished spraying, we're going to move the boom spray into town to the these contract jobs we've got to do. We spray and sow. Sorry, stick there. Spray and sow. So we'll take the boom spray in there now, so it's in there for the morning. And what I might do is, once I get this truck empty, then I may even strip it and sample of corn, and I can take it over and get it moisture tested, and then pick Tony up on the way home. So we'll see how we go. We might be moving into corn mode. We've still got a few ducks to line up, but we're getting there. Deja vu, so back in the glass cage. Yeah, we've got the first paddock out here sown, first 30 hectares into the next 45. Tony moved the boom spray into town in the contracting job, actually got in there and there's no fertiliser there, so yeah, I'm not going to bust my backside here tonight. We'll do a couple more hours maybe. It's, what is it, it's 10 to 9, might not even do that much. Anyway, we'll get up early in the morning, get it going, and hopefully they'll have fert in there after lunch. But what I'm thinking is we've been long-term clients, so we might swap some of our fertiliser with theirs, and then we can get going. But there's 45 hectares in this paddock. I've done 10 now, so there's going to be we're doing about 6 hectares an hour. It's good long runs, this block, so yeah, there'll be 6 hours or something in the morning, so it's going to be lunchtime by the time we finish anyway. Managed to strip a sample of corn, so it was still 16%, so it needs to be 14 roughly. So just looking at the weather forecast, doesn't look like it's going to rain for a while, so there is a blip next week, but we'll just keep watching it as it gets a bit closer. And yeah, we might hook into it early next week, we'll just see. But yeah, thank God I turned the header off, but somewhere I just went up and back on the headland, and somehow the centre of the button on the door, the lock has fallen out, and I had a box full on the header, and when we got back I thought I'll bring the header home and put it in the shed, and you can't actually get into the cabin of the header, so thank God it didn't happen while the header was still running. So yeah, the barrel's falling out of the lock, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. I did have a bit of a play with the screwdriver, but that'll be a job for tomorrow to try and get it open. But yeah, we did a belt on it's got a vacuum fan. We actually did that. I don't know what's going on. We've done 2 or 3 of these belts now, or 2. And it's on the vacuum fan on the rotary screen on the radiator of the motor, so I was sort of sailing along, and next thing the high temp alarm was going off on the engine, and yeah, I'd sort of finished anyway and pulled up, and the screen was covered in chaff, so I'm not too sure why this belt keeps breaking. So I got on Burke Connors, and the case dealership in Corowa, and they had a couple there, so we'll get a couple of them and put them on, but there's no panic. Other thing, the guys have been down, we've been having trouble with the telehandler. I'm not sure I explained that or not, but anyway, they've been down. We're having trouble with the transmission in it when it's cold. It just doesn't want to drive, so they've drained the oil out of it, and they seem to think it's better, but they don't seem to think it's fixed the problem. So yeah, not too sure what's going on there. So anyway, but rolling along here, it's pretty gets a bit mundane when it's like this, but anyway, we'll keep the wheels turning, and yeah, get out of here tomorrow. And yeah, as I said, earlier on, we've got one job we were going to do. They're going to do them. We're going to help. I've got a mate that has actually busted his kneecap. He slipped over fishing. He was away fishing, so we were going to. He's actually got a young guy in to give him a hand. So he's got his knees in a brace. He's not working. So we were going to give him a bit of a hand with some sowing, with some canola, but he rang up today, said they're getting along all right. So we're actually going to go and do a bit of spraying for them. So we've sort of picked up a day. We had 50 hectares for him to do, so we've picked up a day essentially there. So there's no sort of super panic. When we found this fertiliser wasn't there, it's not getting delivered till tomorrow. We sort of oh, that is what it is. But our corn was one of the we've got contract corn harvesting to do, but given our corn was sown before these other two jobs, these other two jobs aren't going to be ripe either. So that's sort of taken the pressure right off the job. So we'll be able to catch up on a few other things. So anywho, keep plugging away here for a bit. Oh, home time. It's, I don't know what it is, after 10. So yeah, that'll do for this one. It's probably not all that riveting if you got to the end of it, but yeah, night shift on the tractor and bit of truckage and that sort of stuff. But yeah, we'll see what we can find the next few days. But yeah, we're well into sort of sowing campaign now, so a bit of maybe tractor work and that sort of stuff. So anyway, thanks again. We'll catch you on the next one. Ta-da.